ascend and step upon the land of their chosen, and the land of his chosen will be before them a threshing floor and a path. But the city of my just will be a hindrance to their horses, and they will take up a battle amongst themselves. In other words, Persia is going to move toward the land of his chosen, his being the Messiah, chosen being his people. Now remember, Enoch is writing this. There is no Abraham at this time. Abraham has not been born. There are no chosen people. There is no Isaac, no Jacob, no 12 tribes of Israel, no Judah, okay, no Jews. All of this is back before the flood. He is writing even while Adam is still on the throne as king of this world. Adam's around 700 years old or so at this time. And Adam will live till he's 930. But he says that there is a land. There is a land of his chosen people. And a city. I believe that city is Jerusalem. I'm convinced that land is Israel. Because listen, he says, this land will be before him a threshing floor. Do you remember the threshing floor? Yeah. The threshing floor that David bought from Arnon the Jebusite, and Solomon his son built the temple there. It's called the Temple Mount. And Enoch says that this land and city will have a threshing floor that will be, shall we say, the theme of these chosen people, the motif, the center of the earth, so to speak. And their right will become strong against themselves, and a man will not know his neighbor or his brother. You know, in Ezekiel chapter 38, we're told that a confusion will cause the people in the battle of Gog and Magog to fight among themselves. Well, that's basically what he's saying here. He says, a man will not know his neighbor or his brother or the son of his father or his mother until there shall be sufficient bodies by their death and their punishment over them. And in those days the mouth of Sheol, hell, will be opened, and they'll sink into it in their destruction. Sheol shall devour the sinners from the presence of the chosen. Isn't it amazing that he targets Persia, stirred up by these fallen angels, to come against the land of the Messiah's chosen people and the city of the just. Now we get to the last chapter, chapter 57. He says, and it came to pass after this that I saw again a host of wagons upon which men were riding, and they came upon the wind from the east and from the west to the south. And the noise of their wagons was heard, and this commotion took place, and the holy ones from heaven noticed it, and the pillars of the earth were moved from their place, and it was heard from the ends of the earth to the ends of heaven in one day. Now, what he is describing here is when Persia moves against Israel in this great battle. And by the way, I'm convinced that it'll begin 7 years before the end of the tribulation period, which we see in chapter 38. But in chapter 39, after 7 years of burning the weapons, birds will come and eat the flesh of the slain on the battlefield. I think that takes it all the way to the Battle of Armageddon at the end of the 7 years. And so Enoch says that there'll be a host of wagons upon which men are riding, and came upon the wind from the east and the west to the south. In other words, the world will become involved. When Israel comes under fire and Jerusalem becomes a burdensome stone, the whole world will be involved. This host of wagons that come upon the wind could be, shall we say, jet airplanes, fighter planes. The noise, of course, like you've heard the noise of the B-1 bomber. It rattles everything. It says the noise of their wagons was heard, and this commotion took place. So it is tremendous noise, and only modern warfare could offer this kind of noise. And Enoch sees it and writes about it. And he says even the holy ones of heaven noticed it. In other words, when the battle of Armageddon takes place, there will be such an uproar that heaven will see it and will rally its forces. Jesus will say, come on, it's time to go rescue the Jews in Israel. And he'll gather the armies of heaven. Well, it says here, the pillars of the earth were moved from their place, and it was heard from the ends of earth to the ends of heaven. In other words, to me, what will create the kind of noise that could be heard from one end of the earth to the other end of heaven would be nuclear explosions. That's what I see here. For the pillars of the earth were moved. And all this happens in one day. Now, I don't know if this means 1 24-hour period, but I'm thinking that this one day is the day when Jerusalem half of Jerusalem will fall to the enemy. The houses rifled, the women ravaged. The enemy will come swooping in to kill every Jew on the planet. On that day, Jesus will come back. All eyes will see him. He will appear in clouds of glory. And this is what the next verse says after the term, one day. And they will all fall down and bend the knee before the Lord of the spirits. Yeah. He's describing this final day of world history when Jesus comes back to put a stop and to the carnage. In chapter 19 of Revelation, it says, I saw heaven open. Behold, a white horse, and he that sat on him is called Faithful and True, and in righteousness doth he judge and make war. Goes on to say that the beast was taken, and with him the false prophet that wrought miracles before him, with which he deceived them that had received the mark of the beast and worshipped the image. These were both cast alive into the lake of fire, burning with brimstone. The remnant were slain with the sword of him that sat upon the horse. And the sword proceeded out of his mouth, and the fowls were filled with their flesh. The birds, you see, will eat the flesh of the slain on the battlefield. And I saw an angel come down from heaven having a key to the bottomless pit and a great chain in his hand, and he laid hold on the dragon, that old serpent, which is the devil and Satan, and bound him 1,000 years. In other words, this fascinating book of Enoch was written before the flood. In fact, before Adam died. While Adam was still alive, Enoch walked with angels, and he was taken into the future to see this final tribulation period. Well, I want you to know our June issue is going to be a doozy. I hope you'll get it. It hasn't been printed yet. It'll go to the printers later this week, and then it'll take them about 5 days to print it. Somewhere around the 20th of May, they'll start mailing it out, and somewhere around the 23rd, 24th of May, we'll get our shipment in from Fulton, Missouri, and we can send a copy out to you if you'd like to have it. Just call the phone number at the bottom of your screen, 1-800-475-1111, and order the June edition of Prophecy in the News magazine. Just understand that it won't be out right away. As soon as we get it, we'll get it in the mail to you. It's a fascinating study. I hope you'll keep up with our studies in the book of Enoch. And by the way, if you wanted to order the February issue, February, March, April, May, along with June, you could do that. You could actually subscribe for the next 12 issues. That's a year subscription. Beginning with February, you could request that your subscription begin with February. Then you can catch all of the articles we write on the book of Enoch. And then, if you will subscribe for a year, I want to offer you a bonus. 4 books that we have published. This one is called Hidden Prophecies in the Song of Moses. This one, They Pierced the Veil and Saw the Future. This one, The Mystery of the Menorah and the Hebrew Alphabet. And this one, Guardians of the Grail and the Men Who Plan to Rule the World. These 4 books, a $48 value, can be yours absolutely free if you will subscribe to Prophecy in the News today. Call that phone number, will you? And let us hear from you. I'm J.R. Church. We'll see you again tomorrow with our analysis of the news.